Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Mauricio Umansky is officially the villain of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Mauricio Umansky's coldness towards Kyle Richards in season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills made him the villain of the season. It has been less than a week since the finale part of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 14 reunion aired. We are still digesting the season and how quickly things between Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky seem to go from placid to kind of pathetic. For 14 seasons, fans have watched the drama play out on the Bravo series. In those 14 seasons, a few different villains have emerged. Still, after the show's latest installment, Mauricio may have cemented himself as the biggest villain in the franchise's history. Season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills took fans along as Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky's complicated separation continues to play out. Mauricio was not on his best behavior a lot this season, but one moment has cemented him as a true villain. During the season, Mauricio replaced a photo of Kyle with a picture of his Dancing with the Stars partner, Emma Slater. Kyle admitted the photo hurt her, but she tried to empathize with Mauricio. Her co-stars and viewers familiar with the couple's separation did not empathize with him. Mauricio and his dance partner have denied romance rumors. While Mauricio's most recent string of behaviors has upset the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans, it isn't the first time viewers have voiced their concerns about him. In fact, Mauricio's motives when it comes to Kyle Richards have been called into question for years. Fans have questioned his fidelity and often felt like he belittled Kyle, even when they were still on good terms. Mauricio Umansky's passive-aggressive behavior and subtle digs at his wife have made him the villain of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. He's not the only one making fans absolutely despise him, though. Kyle Richards is inadvertently making him look even worse, thanks to her inaction. Kyle Richards has been surprisingly meek regarding Umansky for the entirety of season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She rarely called him out on his poor behavior, still entertained him when he wanted to come around, and continued to defend him despite how poorly he treated her. Kyle's inaction made Umansky look even worse. She wasn't going after him, yet he still needed to needle her. We absolutely hated seeing it. As of April 2025, Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky are separated but not legally divorced. The couple announced their split in July 2023, after 27 years of marriage. They continued to cohabitate for another year. Despite finally living apart, they have not filed divorce papers. Kyle has insisted that they haven't taken the next step because the idea of actual divorce is emotionally challenging for both of them. Fans of the famed series don't buy it. It might be difficult for Kyle, but fans feel confident that Ma doesn't really care. Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards built a massive fortune together, including Umansky's real estate brokerage, The Agency. Because the couple has been married so long, their assets are wholly intertwined. Mauricio may be holding off on divorce so he doesn't have to split his assets with Kyle. She's so lovelorn over him that she likely won't push the point either. Who would have thought? For years, Mauricio Umansky was the poster husband of Bravo, the loyal, charming, ever-smiling real estate mogul who managed to rise above the chaos swirling around his wife, Kyle Richards, and her perpetually feuding friends. He was the calm in the champagne storm, the cool husband, the one who barbecued shirtless, supported Kyle with heart eyes, and occasionally dropped into the drama with a quick one-liner before exiting stage left. But not anymore. In season 13 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the facade cracked. And when it did, it wasn't just a slip. It was a full Bravo breakdown. Mauricio Umansky, ladies and gentlemen, is no longer the background eye candy. He's the villain. And not the fun, throwing shade in a goosey row kind. No, Mauricio has stepped into a darker role. A complicated cocktail of aloofness, avoidance, and ambition. And honestly, we did not see it coming. The fall of Mr. Nice Guy. It started subtly. Whispers. Shifts. Lingering camera shots where Kyle's eyes didn't sparkle quite the same when she looked at him. A cold distance began creeping in, the kind you can't edit out, no matter how much slick Bravo post-production you throw at it. Suddenly, Mauricio wasn't just missing family events because of work. He was really missing, absent in more ways than one. And when he did show up, there was an air of indifference that screamed louder than the over-the-top drama
real
of the
estate
women
empire?
around him. The pressure of buying Beverly Hills on Netflix while keeping the agency afloat? Or was it something else entirely? The rumors, the roses, the rosé. You can't be in the Bravo universe without rumors, and Mauricio found himself knee-deep in them. Whispers of flirtations, late-night outings, and the suspiciously cozy dynamic with his buying Beverly Hills co-star began circulating. Fans, who had once adored his goofy dad jokes and laid-back charm, started side-eyeing every smirk and evasive answer. And then there was Kyle, our OG, our emotionally vulnerable but fiercely loyal queen. She started changing. No longer the doe-eyed housewife leaning into her husband's shoulder. Kyle was in the gym, finding herself, getting matching tattoos with Morgan Wade, and leaning away from Mauricio. Something was off, and everyone felt it. When the women of RHOB, who know a bad marriage vibe when they see one, started poking, Mauricio remained dismissive. Everything's fine, he'd say. We're just busy. But if we've learned anything from a decade of diamonds and dysfunction, it's this. Everything's fine is Housewives' code for everything is absolutely not fine. Villain era activated. The moment it truly shifted was the season finale dinner. You know the one, that highly uncomfortable, underlit scene where Kyle tried to open up about her emotional state. And Mauricio countered with a bland, performative toast that felt more like a corporate press release than a husband trying to salvage his marriage. The chemistry was gone. The support was absent. And Mauricio, of all people, was now the emotionally unavailable husband that every housewife fears becoming tethered to. It was in that moment fans realized, this isn't Mauricio's spin-off glow-up. This is his Bravo villain origin story. Mauricio stopped being the cool husband and became the man Kyle had to explain away, the man who no longer listened, the man who wasn't there when her mother died, metaphorically speaking. His silence became louder than Erika Jayne's lawsuits. But wait, was it always there? Let's rewind the Bravo tape. Was Mauricio ever really that perfect? Or was he just really good at playing the game? Always present just enough to be adored, but never enough to be held accountable. He managed to skate by for over a decade with zero scandal, impressive in this universe. But now, with the spotlight glaring and Kyle's narrative shifting, we're forced to ask, was Mauricio always detached, and we just never noticed? Was his easygoing vibe really just strategic disengagement? Even the fans are turning. Reddit threads have dissected every glance, every evasive answer. He gaslights her, one user wrote. He never really sees her, another claimed. And honestly, they're not wrong. The Kyle conundrum. Kyle Richards deserves her own reality show at this point. One solely focused on her emotional transformation. Season 13 was her phoenix moment, whether it was intentional or not. Her storyline was no longer about fighting with sisters or holding grudges with Lisa Vanderpump. It was about facing herself, and facing the fact that the husband she thought was her safe place might have just been a beautifully constructed illusion. Kyle didn't need Mauricio to turn into a full-on villain with a mistress and a secret love child. The emotional neglect was enough. Sometimes villainy doesn't come with betrayal. It comes with absence, with not showing up when it matters most. Bravo's new chapter. Mauricio's pivot is a masterclass in Bravo storytelling. Villains aren't born in one episode. They're revealed through a slow drip of missteps, misunderstandings, and miscommunications. His entry into the villain club isn't as flamboyant as a Lisa Rinna or a Denise Richards-level meltdown, but it's more sinister in its subtlety. He's not screaming at a dinner party or throwing wine. He's just gone, emotionally. And somehow, That's even worse. Is there redemption? Sure, we love a redemption arc, and maybe Mauricio will get one. Maybe a future season of Buying Beverly Hills will give us a raw, honest Mauricio crying on a balcony somewhere, begging Kyle for forgiveness. But for now, he's the man behind the villain mask. Charming on the outside, complicated, and possibly complicit on the inside. And Kyle. She's not waiting around for him to catch up. She's already in her Morgan Wade era, posting cryptic quotes on Instagram and reclaiming her narrative one lifted weight at a time. Final toast? So gears to you, Mauricio. You entered the Bravo scene as the dream husband, the barbecuing MVP, the tequila-sipping dad with a twinkle in his eye. But now, you're the villain. And honestly, the diamonds were always too polished to stay perfect forever.